Welcome to another episode of Driving to the Res.
With your favorite hosts,
Inelia and Larry. Yay!
And of course, PB's here today.
Who?
PB.
Yeah, she's with us.
She's our constant companion.
She is.
Pretty much since the day she's been collected until this moment. I don't think she's spent 2 minutes away. Maybe 5.
Oh, we left her in the other house earlier.
The Shaman Shack, that was the longest time.
Yeah.
Maybe a half hour.
Yeah. About half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was missing her a lot.
You were?
Yeah. So I only left her because she was happily and well cared for.
Nice.
She was sitting there on Fred's lap having a hydrogen session.
Oh, of course.
Ground gas session.
Of course,
yeah.
yes.
She does like that.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I know our experience with it has been nothing but positive.
It's been extremely positive. And my brain injuries didn't getting fixed.
Yeah, I was listening to a couple of gals walking down the beach, talking a little bit about their experiences with it, and they've had amazing responses to it as well.
Perfect.
So I suggest anyone who has the opportunity should definitely give it a look-see.
Yes.
One of the books that we're reading, which is called Something About Water, remember?
It's not actually called Something About Water.
Dancing with Water?
Singing
with water?
Singing or dancing. Or running with water.
Running with water.
Something with water.
Dancing. Pretty sure it's dancing.
I think you said that before it was Dancing with Water, but I'm not sure. I've never read it. The cover.
The cover. Just hear me read it.
Yeah.
Read it to you each night.
Yeah,
we
when
usually
you're
get
tired.
a few chapters in. Yeah, we haven't read a lot this last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were reading the alien abduction books and I kept on falling asleep
hilarious.
after 2 pages?
Yeah.
God, my mouth would stop working.
Well,
it doesn't happen with this book. But this book is so dense, nutrient-dense informationally, you know? Mm-hmm. And guess what chapter on right now is about hydrogen.
Oh.
And
cool.
Positive ions of hydrogen,
that's
negative
right.
ions of hydrogen.
Yeah.
And
one of our friends actually
hydrogens.
gave us 3 salt lamps.
Yes, thank you, Ashley.
By friends of her parents, so.
Oh, they should be good.
Yeah.
So we can have a good supply of negative ions running around.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
That would be awesome. Today, oh, by the way, I ordered you something out of that Dancing with Water book.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they have some pretty cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, what'd you get?
To make water that's structured. And then we can put the structured water in our hydrogen thingy, and it'll hold more hydrogen. So you can drink that water.
So what did you get?
Well, I'll have to show you when it shows up. I don't know how to say what it is because it's in wateries.
Oh, wateries.
One thing's a shungite sphere, and another thing is some kind of a crystalline egg-shaped vase of some kind. Another thing is a helical coil of some kind. And
you bought trinkets.
No.
You bought stuff. Well, actually, yesterday or the day before, I used that wand that we got.
Yeah, the lemon wand, yeah.
Yeah. I used that on the water before I put it through the machine.
Right.
And it did feel very satisfying.
Yeah, it's supposed to create a good matrix in the water that holds more of those little hydrogen ions or atoms or whatever in space. Mm-hmm. So you have more of them available to go wherever they go, and then you saturate the spaces in your body that hold hydrogen reserves.
Okay.
It's not what you think.
I lost my train of thought with the hydrogen and all the technical stuff.
So, as I was saying, structured water is very important. Figure out how to get some structured water into your life. Hydrogen.
Definitely.
Hydrogen available to your body is very important. Get some into your life.
Yes.
Yes. Those are two very important things. It alters your health dramatically.
It does.
And we don't make any money selling anything that makes water structured or hydrogen in your bubbles. We probably should start.
What?
Making some money selling things that do that.
Oh, that would be good, yeah. You know what, though?
Huh.
Today is Hallows End.
Hallows End.
Yeah, that's...
Halloween?
No, that's October. Hallows End is the 31st of October.
That's Halloween.
Furthermore...
What?
We had a party!
I remember, I was like, I don't want to go to no party. I just want to work.
You just wanted to be in front of the TV.
No, remember we were building battery box.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Had all the guys outside, finally making some progress. Got a nice warm sunny afternoon. Working in our t-shirts. Putting the, walls on the end, and oh my gosh. Such a simple thing. So many options.
And then it was party time.
And then party time. So, you dressed me up. And you were dressed to the nines. Is that the right word?
I have no idea, but
tens?
I was a glammy witch.
You were a
glamorous witch. Yes.
And if you've seen any of the pictures on Talk With Me Now, you know what we're talking about. You are a very, very nice glammy witch.
Yeah.
And it was nice to have a Halloween party, and it was an interesting observation. One of the newer members of the tribe, I suppose.
Yeah, they haven't been to a party before.
Haven't been to a party like
one of our parties.
One of our parties.
And people, whenever they have the first time they have to one of our parties, they always comment about, "Oh my God, it's so much fun, and nobody's drinking or taking drugs. It's amazing." And I forget. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
It's not normal sometimes.
Yeah,
That's
well,
just
it isn't
the way
normal,
we roll.
but it isn't normal to drink and take drugs. That's what's not normal. But it's been normalized because it's how to possess people with demons and make them stay stupid. That's another word.
That's true. Remember, we were listening to a story of this one boy who he had a friend, has a friend.
One friend only? Just one friend?
Well, he has a friend. He probably has many friends.
Okay.
But this particular friend, he said, regressed from being a normal adult 40-plus-year-old to a 20-year-old after he got, what was the other words we heard about it? You call it cooties and
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, right?
Yes. He called it cooties Kool-Aid. He called it cooties Kool-Aid.
He got the cooties Kool-Aid in his arm.
Yeah.
And that made him sick for a few days. Then he got his second dose of cooties Kool-Aid in his arm. And
after that,
he decided now's a good time to start drinking again.
After 20, 30 years.
After 20 or 30 years of not drinking.
Yeah.
Now he's a alcoholic again. Because...
Demons, man.
Demons, man. I suppose if I got that Kool-Aid in my arm, I'd do that too.
How do you feel about this? You know that we talked about last week a little bit about it. Archbishop
Vigano.
Yeah.
Archbishop Vigano.
He actually stated that for the Catholics, at least, you know how Catholics get baptized when they're born.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't actually.
Well, they do. Not when they're born, but a few days after, or a few weeks after.
Okay.
And he called the jabs the baptism of the devil, a devil's baptism.
Yeah, I remember he did say that.
Because it has aborted fetuses in it, material from aborted fetuses. And other stuff that marks you and all sorts of... What some of the names for these things and materials they use in this...
Luciferase is one of the ingredients. I mean, come on, guys.
Come on, guys. And one of them is 666.
There's patents, 666. Some of the processes via which the vaccine or the cootie juice,
the cootie juice,
cootie juice will, affect your body in a fashion. I don't know. I mean, the signs are pretty much all there for all the Catholics to see, or anybody to see for that matter. I know there was to be a big reveal in October, and I saw with mine own eyes.
Yes.
Many, many reveals completely where it's like, they say, XYZ. This is to kill you. Don't do it.
Yes. There's no other reason.
There's no other reason but to kill you.
Exactly. That was quite impressive, wasn't it?
In many different languages, from Catholics to Fox News to Spanish to Italian to EU ministers to... I saw it all over. I didn't. It felt like the ball got rolling and the open is open and it's coming and coming and coming and coming. It's like a floodwater kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, everyone who's heard it, when you hear something that shatters your reality, oftentimes you'll double down on your attempt to
make yourself right.
Right? And defend your position.
Yes.
And ignore it. So I think the big shock didn't arrive as I thought it was going to, but I know I saw the reveals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you?
Yep. I could see it. Yeah. Also by people that I didn't expect. Like there was a press release by a person in the European Commission.
Yeah.
They talked about it, and
they didn't hold any punches. No. It was just exactly like it.
Yeah.
X, Y, Z.
Yeah. And then some, like a nun did it.
A nun, yeah.
The Archbishop did it, and there's some podcast guy. What's his name?
Oh, that's one of the. Oh, I can't recall his name, but he's very famous in his realm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
he's someone listened to by not just a few, by millions, you know?
So that's what I'm saying by different languages, different audiences,
different audiences, different languages, all got it.
Yeah.
All within the last week or so. And
it's like different demographics are being told. But it's interesting that it doesn't catch, you know?
It doesn't catch. The thing that will catch hasn't catched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a tricky world, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a tricky world, and now we're coming into November and December and January. It's like, will it become impossible to continue life in a way that you're accustomed to? I mean, I think we've grown accustomed to different things.
Mm-hmm.
So they're normal. It's normal to go to the store or go somewhere and see 90% of people wearing a mask, for example.
It's not for me.
Even
what?
Even still this year for Halloween, you know, there were places on our res, they didn't want people coming by trick-or-treating. And they had central places to go. So I don't know. It's just like making extra efforts, you know, to try and continue the thing. Even though no one's had any reactions in 2 years negatively, except for from jabs and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's still it stymies me. And so it's more and more and more feeling like there's two worlds. And you're in one, we're in one, and they're in a different one.
Yes, that's true.
And it's almost like I can't see what's going on in their world anymore.
Right. It's so hard to understand, to me too, because we've educated ourselves and researched and looked into the claims that certain individuals have made about both the existence of viruses and also the non-existence of viruses. And it's all wide open. They don't actually exist.
Well, viruses, to say that don't exist, maybe is like you got to define what you mean by viruses. I think what we're talking about is a virus as a invisible germ that makes you sick. That doesn't exist.
No.
A virus as a particle that's part of the decomposition process of a cell.
They have a different name. They're not called viruses.
Exosome, thing like that. That's a thing.
It is.
But
little bits
not
of
an infectious agent.
Right.
I remember the day you said, "Oh, I followed that
energy line.
There's no virus."
I know.
I'm like, no, honey, don't say it.
I know. The first thing that went through my mind when I saw that, I thought, oh, dang it. Now it's going to make it even harder for people to listen to the message of empowerment, because they're going to hear me say viruses don't exist, and they're going to say, oh my God, I'm not going to listen to the message of empowerment from this woman. She's a nutter, you know?
She's a nutter, yeah.
I was like, no. But then we researched it, and then you found Dr. Cohen.
The funny thing is, it's not even new.
It's not even new, no.
It's old news.
Yeah, it's very old news. People, courts saying no, they
measles.
don't exist.
Yeah, measles lost its court battle.
Yeah. And work that people have done, people who believed in it, trying to, get recreate or whatever. And it's like, after you do all that research, I was like, wow. I mean, I hadn't even made the jump of, oh, COVID doesn't exist, from that to viruses don't exist. Hadn't even made that jump yet. But it's like when I looked at, after that, I started looking for energy lines for other viruses, like it doesn't exist. They don't exist. There's not tiny little invisible thing that creates sickness in people. I mean, people get sick from frequencies, that vibrations. They get sick from poisons and from
toxins and even their own thoughts. I know
toxins, their own thoughts. And what are those things? Parasites. They get sick from parasites.
Worms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oftentimes they say that comes because of the imbalance in your body, and the worms have a role to play. And when they get out of control, it's because your body is weak.
Yeah. Your body includes your environment.
Right. There's like a big synergetic system. It's
exactly. We're not in isolation.
This parasite is the thing that got you sick. You were sick and the parasite came because you were sick.
Or your environment's sick and the parasite overpopulating your environment gets into your body, boom. You're over.
Yeah. So
or poisons.
So currently, there are people that get sick, and it seems like they have new symptoms, even though most of the symptoms that they describe as the new symptoms aren't new symptoms at all.
List. It's the same list. I can't taste or whatever.
I don't have any taste.
Yeah.
The taste is one of the COVID things, but
it was a cold.
Had that for
used
flu.
to be.
I had that for
flu, cold.
My tongue's felt raw and it didn't have any taste anymore. That's not a new thing.
No, it's ancient.
My dad and my mom got sick.
Yeah.
Remember? They had spent a year pretty well isolated. And pretty much in terror and constant tension and argument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That can't make anybody healthy.
Because my dad absolutely believed one thing, and my stepmother completely opposite.
Yeah.
All the way from Trump all the way through COVID, everything.
Even the newspapers are really their opposites.
Oh my gosh, it was really, really bad. And they had got themselves to a state, a really high tension state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they did get sick.
They did?
Yeah. My stepmother went to the fair, be a judge. She was around 1,000 people. And I can see now that the spike stuff most definitely
exists
and it most definitely affects people. And that seems like if you haven't got one of the cootie Kool-Aids in your arm, if you don't have a cootie Kool-Aid in your arm, it seems like you're more sensitive to it. To me, it does seem like that. Or if you're not surrounded by it all the time.
Yeah.
something, and we've like been trying to put our finger on it, follow that energy line. Okay, if you follow that energy line, what that is that's affecting us, because we had it today.
Mm-hmm.
We went to our party and nobody there is
jabbed.
Yeah, nobody there. But some come from the city where they're exposed to tons of people.
Yeah.
And I felt it, you felt it, our friends felt it, their throats start to get tightened up.
Yeah. There was also lots of people coming to the door for treats.
Yeah, I'm not blaming any one person or anything like that. I'm not trying to assign blame, I'm just saying exposure.
Yeah.
We had exposure to something.
Yeah. Shedding. And
it tightens up my throat.
Yeah.
I gave you a headache. And Fred had the same thing. I don't know about the rest of them, but I know I felt it, and I know when it started. And
it's
I know
a toxin.
What solved it. It's some kind of toxin that we're reacting to. And
it's definitely a toxin.
If you follow the energy line of that, what do you find?
That it's a toxin.
Do you find anything? Just that it's a toxin?
Yeah. And it messes up your electrical system, your energy field in your body.
It's energy field thing. Yeah, that's what it felt like to me too. I always thought it was energy fieldy because the relief from that silver spray is instant.
It is, yes, very weird.
And there's no logical reason for that.
No.
The silver spray we're talking about is
colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver
in
concentrate. Water. We got a 500 part per million one put into some water that makes it look like yellow. Mm-hmm. Then we spray it. Although I know there's other colloidal silvers.
Yeah.
And you just got to try what you got, see if it works. If you spray it and you feel like an electric sensation down your spine, kind of like, that's how it feels to me. How about you?
Yeah.
It's an instant altering of something. It's like a shorting. If it feels like that, then it's working. Mm-hmm. Obviously, also, we use our vitamins.
Yes, we take our vitamins.
A, D, and K.
We do.
We have Chagati now and then.
Yeah.
Elderberries.
Mm-hmm. And that all seems to help the symptoms, right?
Seems to support, but alone it doesn't seem to. Mm. Maybe that might be because we don't do it every day either.
That's true, we don't.
Maybe if we were more diligent about that, we wouldn't be...
Although, I've heard a couple of people saying things like, I'm very diligent and I take all my stuff and everything and I still got the flu,
Mm-hmm. I've heard that too.
Yeah.
And that was from a person we were listening to who is in the city,
They are in the city, yeah. So...
it's all very confusing,
It is very confusing, yeah.
It's a tangled mess, a tangled web, and there's so many different lines rolling through. It's difficult to be certain, but the things that we know, we can know for sure.
Yeah.
That.
I've noticed in the past 2 months, I have a friend who got jabbed, and we hang out, like once or twice a day or something online. And I've noticed that she used to be really sharp, mind-wise. She used to be very, very sharp, very on top of things and everything. But I've noticed in the last 2 months that I often have to repeat things 3 or 4 times before she will get it. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes again the next day. Right, so like she showed me a lamp, and I said, "Oh, that's a really cool, funny lamp." It was a Halloween lamp, and we laughed about it. We talked about it for about half an hour because it was so cute. And then the next day, she did it again. Look, I want to show you something. Look at this lamp, and I was like, I didn't say anything because I've noticed that happens a lot. Right.
Senior moments. Is that what it feels like?
Yeah, like almost like that. I mean,
that's what another friend was saying
so
too. He noticed a lot of his middle-aged friends are starting to have senior moments that they never had, and they're not old.
I know, right?
Yeah. That's what he'd said too.
She's not old.
Yeah, we can watch the things happen. It's like a slow train wreck almost.
Yeah.
And, you're at one point, at one side of the thing, you're like, can we just get it over with? And the other side, you're like, well, this isn't bad. What's now? what's now I can tolerate without a lot of angst.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you got to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
That's kind of the feeling I get.
What has impressed me this week or this month is so many people that were skirting on the edge of, what this might be and this and the other is bad for you. Mm-hmm. It can't be good for you, or even, I'm not going to, it's an experimental thing. I'm not going to put it in my body, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Now they're saying this was created to kill you.
Yeah, they're not even pretending that it might be anymore. A protection thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it's just going to kill you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, this is created to kill you, to make you very, very sick, and to kill you. That's it.
I've heard
and
that.
And you're going to get as many boosters as it takes to kill you. And
I've
it's like, what? Yeah, exactly.
Just black and white, right out of their mouths.
Never heard that before.
No.
But this month, it's out there. Like disclosure, like I said.
Yep. So as we go through November, I think probably, it probably gets more intense.
Yeah.
November, probably December too. But when it happens and how it happens, I guess we just have to be prepared. I know I asked Gaia for a card that would give us what would be the ideal way to, not the ideal way to, what would be a good card to describe how we should approach November.
Ooh, read it.
Are you interested?
Oh, yes, definitely.
So I want to tell you there's a little synchronicity here.
Okay.
While you were sitting doing your mystical work the other week, remember
yes,
that? That was like an age and a half ago.
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Yeah. On the third or fourth, something like that, I started to pull cards for the people that came to sit to help them have something.
A focus, maybe?
Focus. To help them focus.
Yeah.
What would Gaia have you focus on while you're sitting? Mm-hmm. Again, that was also a kind of a request. Do this. It will help. And it did. And the card that I pulled for November is the same card that I first pulled for the first day on the sitting that everyone came in for guidance.
Nice.
So Gaia wanted who were sitting to use this card as guidance for their sitting. And Gaia would like us who are listening to use this card as guidance for November.
Nice.
The same thing. So it's a good synchronicity.
Yeah.
Can you describe the card? What do you see?
It's beautiful. It's called, well, I can't read what it's called. It's got a number 8. Strength, I think.
It's called Strength.
Yeah, it's okay. It has a lady, a woman.
Is she young or old?
She's both young and old. And she's very beautiful. She's sitting on a red cape in the woods with flowers on her hair, smiling. And next to her, touching her face with a big smile, is a giant dark wolf.
Looks like Little Red Riding Hood, huh?
Yes.
Except for she's
grown old and in the woods with her
friend the wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a very easy to misunderstand card because by looking at it, one might think that you have to make friends with evil because the wolf has been given to us in society, in Western society, as something evil, especially with the Red Riding Hood story. He's a trickster, he's evil, he's nasty, all these things. So you could misunderstand this card to mean, oh, you can trust the evil guy, right? And make friends with them. They're not going to hurt you, right? Which obviously is not true.
Right.
This card is not about that.
No, this card is not about that.
Okay, tell us what this card is about. This card is
about strength, right? Now, I'll just read the text that comes with the card.
Sure.
It's illustrative. And think of November.
Okay.
Once upon a time, a young girl walked into the vast and fearsome forest. She went of her own volition, and she wore a crimson cloak that made her easily visible to any creature that might observe her progress through the dark woods. Mm-hmm. And indeed, once upon a time, a great wolf was watching her. You may think you know the rest of the story. Deception, violence, vengeance. That tale is meant to warn children not to go into the woods, or to seek adventure, or trust a wolf. Once upon a time, two mighty hearts found the strength to change the story. The wolf refused to harm or betray the maiden. She refused to hate or fear the wolf, nor did she tame him. She just loved him for his wild self. She found a home in the forest and grew old there, the magical wolf always at her side. Strength is being firmly grounded in who you are, having courage for the tasks given you, and knowing the source of that courage. Rather than letting circumstances defeat you, reach within yourself and draw forth the strength to make changes, face challenges, and move forward courageously. You don't do this by brute force, but through love. Strength comes from trusting your heart, your pure heart.
Right.
At a glance, self-knowledge, courage, fortitude, reserves of inner strength, bonds of loyalty and love.
Phoebe's being the wolf right now. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think that means that, well, not like the wolf in the story. I mean, there are light beings who look like wolves. Mm-hmm. And if you're walking along and you look like, oh, that's a wolf and he's evil, don't be judging every book by its cover. That there are wolves who aren't. Mm-hmm. There are probably wolves who are.
Yeah.
This particular one in this particular story was not.
Right. He was wild, but he wasn't
He was
evil.
wild, right. I guess he represents wild strength, right? Yeah. He represents the strength that exists in all of us, really, if we tap into it. Right. He's not really afraid of, am I going to get fired for not getting a Kool-Aid in my arm, for example? He doesn't give it a thought. Or
Kool-Aid
she.
in your arm.
Yeah. There might be some challenges coming. Face them.
Face them?
You have it. You have it in you to face them. Mm-hmm. Trust your heart. I mean, that seems pretty good advice for whatever comes in November. Whatever happens, You've been forewarned. 2.5 years, 2 years at least.
Yes.
Are we talking about this? Find your tribe.
Yes.
Which means what? What does find your tribe mean?
Find people who your strength, you can say your strength is my strength and my strength is your strength with. Mm-hmm. People who are of your frequency, right? They're not into the victim aggressor. And,
right. They may have some, but they're working through it. They're working on it. They're not like rejoicing in their victim aggressor. They're like, oh man, I got that.
Or validating.
I got a little bit of that victim shit. I got to dump that. I got to process that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're aware at least.
Yeah.
So finding a tribe are people who are similarly frequencied to you.
Yeah.
Right. And you support each other in thought, deed, and action.
We were listening to a podcast today.
Yes, we were.
I can't remember the name of the guy.
Freeman?
Okay.
He's the oldest podcaster there is in the I guess the realm that we sort of populate sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Freeman.
And he was talking about the types of tribes that we call tribe, right?
Right.
But the type of groups that will make it, that will be successful in... you're making a lot of noise with your chair.
I was trying to help PB, sorry.
And And it was really funny because he talked about the type of tribe that we are, right? Everybody lives within 20 miles of each other. It's a decentralized tribe. He said, if you have a centralized group or tribe, you're all living in one place. You can call it a monastery or a nunnery or
a convent, or a commune.
A commune, yeah. But if you're all 20 miles from each other, like maximum, so that you can actually walk in a day, because if you don't have gas, you're going to have to walk or use your bike, then you can support each other through anything, right? So pull your resources, you know, and I thought he was funny. He says, the men, you have to do this. You have to make sure that you organize your resources and make sure that everybody's going to be fed and watered and sheltered. The women and the children, they're going to deal with other things. They're going to have to deal with education, with all sorts of other things, right?
Yeah, he's like, homeschool your kids.
Yeah.
Take them out of school, hurry up.
Yeah. So that was interesting to me because when we've looked at different models of community, the one that we became comfortable with was that one where everybody lives within, 20 miles or whatever. It's half an hour, we say half an hour.
Yeah, half an hour drive
from each other.
Right.
And then learn how to become a lone wolf, because it's so easy for us, right? To become lone wolves. So I found that to be interesting. And he was also saying, just get out of the cities, You shouldn't be in the city.
Yeah, to be clear, it wasn't Freeman saying this, although he was agreeing. He was interviewing another friend of his.
Okay.
I'll get the name, but I don't have it on the tip of my tongue.
Okay.
He's writing a book right now about how to have resilient type community, how to build community like we're talking about, a non-centralized community. And, he's going through the legwork of how you incorporate it or how you organize it or how you fund it or how you...
Yes.
Giving it a lot of thought, spending a lot of time and energy to create a guide that might be a worthwhile thing. We'll have to look at it. I know we listened to him talk before. He's one of the guys that had a wild life down in all over the place.
I don't know about that.
You probably don't remember that.
Remember.
That was a really old podcast, like 6 months, 8 months ago.
Ancient, man.
Yeah, that's 3/4 of a world ago.
Yeah.
Remember they were talking about how to talk to the police without getting yourself in trouble.
Oh, I think I do remember something like that.
Yeah, it was quite funny because they had spent their formative years as scoundrels, as they like to say.
So they knew exactly
what to do. So they knew how to talk to the border patrol, how to lie to the police without getting caught, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a funny conversation. Oh, man. But now, he's very totally convinced it's all going to be necessary. In his words, you have to find your tribe.
Yeah.
You have to. Mm-hmm. So you cannot stress it enough.
It sounds like what I've been saying for the past 2 years.
It's exactly the same thing you've been saying.
And the Hopi prediction thing, what is that called? The prophecy.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he said.
You're
time of the lone wolf is over.
You're in that time right now.
Yeah.
Right. And if it is 5 days or 6 days or 9 days or 2 weeks or a month or tomorrow, if you have...
somebody said to me, you're forcing people to gather in tribes, and because you're giving them fear, you're telling them you're putting all this fear into the community to say, if you're a lone wolf, you're screwed and all this type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not my message. People like to have food. They like to have shelter and water, right? They like to feel good.
Yeah.
Right? And the society that we're stepping into is not going to provide that for you unless you jab yourself. Right? Yes, you can stay isolated by yourself, not having any contact or tribe or whatever. Will you die? Of course, probably not. Right? I doubt it.
Well, honestly, I don't know how often any of the... I just watched the boy live in a month with his friend in the mountains of Canada, Rocky Mountains. Mm-hmm. tried to live a month off of the land. They ate trout every day except for the days they didn't catch any trout, which were more than a few days, because even though the lake was full of trout and that's all they did all day was try to catch a trout so they could have some dinner and then hopefully leftovers for breakfast. Then they had to eat the greens that were growing, but the greens looked like weeds to me.
I don't think people who want to stay lone wolves... First of all, he wasn't alone. He had a friend, okay? Probably a cameraman too. I don't know.
No, it was just two of them.
Just two of them? At least it was two. Now, the other thing is, I'm not saying that they should go into the wilderness and these people are going to survive or not in the wilderness.
Yeah, they're not.
No. They're probably going to be in the cities or living in the forest by themselves or whatever. But it's like... Nobody's going to force you to be part of a group and support that group. Nobody's going to force you to do that. But I think that attitude of, oh, it's fearful and telling me that I'm not going to survive if I don't join a tribe is very passive and very, what can you do for me? Energy, right? What can you do for me? Which is not the energy when you step into the new paradigm. The new paradigm is, what can we do for each other? Your strength is my strength and my strength is your strength. It's not just give me, otherwise I'm going to die like a little child, right?
Right, you bring...
We're talking about adults here. We're not talking about children, right? Yeah, of course children, you have to feed them, clothe them, and everything. And the best you can do is a tantrum and they get back, you know? Mm-hmm. We're talking about adults. So if a person says, oh yeah, but I'm going to survive by myself. I'm perfectly fine by myself. Right? I say, oh yeah, but you open your faucet. Thousands of people work for you to be able to open your faucet and water comes out. You're not by yourself. That's an illusion.
That's true.
All the clothes you're wearing, I doubt very much whether you knitted them. And even if you had, did you grow the sheep and do the wool and everything? No, I don't think so. What about your shoes?
So what you're saying is even if you're a lone wolf, you already did join a tribe. It's just not a tribe of high frequency people.
Right. And it's not going to support you.
That's probably not going to support you anymore.
Okay.
Because they
have their rules and regulations and engagement and rules of engagement, you know? They have their own rules of engagement. You want to be part of that tribe, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. Right? Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to be part of that tribe, you better find yourself another tribe, because otherwise you're going to have a hard time putting shoes on your feet or even getting water from your faucet. Because that's the way it's going. That's the way it's going. Where everybody's going to be chipped or whatever in order to be able to shop.
Yeah, that luciferase stuff they put in the Kool-Aid, it shows up in your blood veins, so when you go buy a monitor, it can tell whether you have any of that in your blood or not.
Right.
It's not a big stretch to think they could put that in front of places that they don't want you to go in. That is the plan.
Will they be able to achieve it? I actually don't think so. I think they're going to achieve it.
Maybe in a few places.
In a few, probably Australia already has it.
Probably they do.
Yeah. There are a few places on Earth where I think they're going to manage it. The full on Big Brother thing. Yeah. You know, 1984 book, whatever. You know, all those things. They probably will. I don't think they're going to manage it here in the United States. But they sure enough are managing to
trying all the way to
remove a lot of the population. What?
Yeah, they're sure trying all the way to the deadlines. The deadlines is like right now. I think a lot of the repercussions for the pushing really, really hard are starting to show up. But I don't know if they're unintentional anyway or intentional. And anyways, all of the talk and all of it all comes back to the same thing in the end, which is which paradigm are you picking? Mm-hmm. And that's all it's for. Right. It's just for picking your paradigm.
I can tell you right now that in the high frequency paradigm is about connection. Right? Now, if you love being a lone wolf, I can tell you that the shamanic lineages are about connection. Right? Because lone wolf people always think, oh, wolf and whatever is, you know, shamanic or I'm spiritually advanced and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm a lone wolf, I find it very, very, very uncomfortable to be around people. Extremely uncomfortable. But I figured out that indulging in my lone wolfness doesn't help anyone. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast if I indulged in my lone wolf. Okay?
Trust me, no.
It wouldn't.
No, we wouldn't.
No.
You would be happy off in the
wherever,
all by yourself.
Yes.
Who knows what time, day or night it is, and boy, you probably needed a haircut.
Yep.
Well, you wouldn't need a haircut because you wouldn't care what your hair looked like.
No,
you would just tie it up and chop it with some scissors.
Yes, exactly.
And you'd be eating Doritos and Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Not
I lived in 6 months
anymore.
with that. No, because it's called the nanobots.
Yeah, it's not so good
The
now.
nanoparticles or whatever.
Same thing with the other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, I have the same inclinations. My preference would be, I'll go jump on my little island.
Your boat.
It's a traveling island. Yeah. I have my own private cabin.
Yes.
And everybody else go to the other side of the boat. That's where you live. I'll live in the back. Yeah, we'll go out. I'll come out every now and again, feed you some food and smile and, okay, see you later. Go back to my cab.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I could do that for 30 years.
You have been
I
doing
did do that for 30 years. Not much socializing in that.
No.
But I didn't do anything but, exist on my island, read a lot of books, and listen to...
Drank a lot of beer.
That wasn't on the boat.
Oh.
I learned my lesson on that. Don't do that.
So when you come out of your island, you drank a lot of beer.
Then you drink a lot of beer, because then is when you have to encounter people. Remember we were talking about that earlier?
Yeah, we did.
Is oftentimes empathic, sensitive people will end up drinking alcohol or stuff.
Yeah, and being drug addicts and alcoholics. Because they want to deaden all their sensitivity. So it's pretty common. Yeah.
So why deadening sensitivity brings in demons? I don't know. It doesn't seem fair.
Probably because you were jabbed as a kid.
Oh yeah, I had all those things too.
Yeah, they got all those aborted fetus materials in there.
Well, it's probably like one of those setups. It's a setup, man. You get born onto this planet, have this high hopes and ideals and ideas of how it's going to be, and then you get here.
And the first thing they do to little boys is chop their wieners.
So, yeah, it doesn't start out good at all. And it doesn't get better to be sensitive.
The biggest shock ever, designed to submit men to authority. That's what it's made for.
Well, it frickin' works.
And after that, they pump your body full of nasty poisons to make you weak of mind and body. All these injections.
Yeah, I did get lucky. My dad looked out for us, had a giant organic garden before anybody even knew what organic meant.
I meant jabs, though.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we got jabs.
Yeah.
But besides all that, no victims here. It's the planet and the way that it's designed. If you want to have these light dark experiences, those are kind of the things you have to do to light beings in order to get it to work.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have any type of light dark experience. You wouldn't engage with it
whatsoever.
Separation is part of the light dark paradigm. The illusion of separation, I should say, because there is not real separation.
Plus the part where you incarnate and you get this case of amnesia about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it's like a
weird?
solid case.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you had in mind when you first got here. It's beyond you to remember.
Yeah.
It's like a dream that you had 2 days ago that you don't even remember anymore. What was the plot of that dream? Mm-hmm. What was it? Did I even have a dream?
Yeah.
That type of memory, amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of know you did because you know you dream every night.
That's right.
But you sure as heck can't for the life of you remember it. You just have these inklings every now and then.
Yep.
Well, it's a bit like that. But kind of part of the process of the existence. Without that would be hard to do the existence, have the experience.
Yeah.
You couldn't see something for the first time that you've seen 10,000 times, for example.
Good.
You can't see it for the first time after seeing it 10,000
No, you
times.
can't.
If you've seen it 10,000 times.
I could watch 10,000 sunsets and it will still be the first time for me. I don't know about you.
No, not me. Okay, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or rainbow.
Like, look at that again.
We've seen thousands of rainbows. We still stop the car and go,
oh, look at that
rainbow.
Can you take a picture, honey? Take a picture.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. What are you going to do? You're going to stop and smell the flowers, look at the rainbows, watch the sunset, have those experiences. The experiences you came here to have are high frequency experiences.
Definitely.
The ones that you kind of ended up having that weren't high frequency.
Yeah, it's because you made wrong choices.
That's the nature of
you made wrong choices.
Hey, I can't help those wrong choices.
You can't help those wrong choices, but you made them.
How am I going to help those wrong choices? They're not even now. They're like a decade ago.
Yeah, but nowadays you can.
Well, nowadays I do.
Exactly.
But then a days I didn't.
No, because you were not street smart enough.
Right.
We're not omnipotent when we come in. We've, amnesia, and we don't have the rules of engagement.
And our mentor didn't show up.
Right.
Who knows who they were supposed to be?
I know.
They didn't even... Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No, there wasn't. I had one high school teacher who I could consider maybe would be mentor status. But I got about 2 hours a day for one school year with him.
Yeah.
That ain't enough.
No, that's not enough.
No. So I think in our new paradigm, maybe we should have better mentor statuses.
We should aim as adults to be those good mentors for the new generations.
Okay. So one of the reasons not to be a lone wolf, honestly, is because your wisdom is
necessary.
Not and just for you.
Shared,
it's for us too. Exactly. So come on.
Yeah.
Get out of there. It ain't easy for me to sit here and talk. I mean, it's easy. It's easy for me to sit here and talk.
It is. It's very easy.
It's not easy for me. My nature isn't to sit here and talk on a microphone thing.
Oh yeah, it took me 2 years to convince you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't like, just sit there and start talking.
No, it was not.
No, I was like, let's do a podcast, honey.
What?
Well,
Me?
you do a podcast. No. I'd be happy to listen to you talk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what do I have to say?
Apparently a lot. Yeah. Apparently I have a lot to say.
Yes, you do.
So, yeah.
It was so funny because it's called Driving to the Res because we'd have these amazing conversations while we were driving to the res or out of the res. And long drives, right? The closest town is 1.5 hours away. So we were spending a lot of time in the car. We're having these amazing conversations. And I kept telling Larry, hey, we should record these. I mean, people would love to hear all these conversations, love to hear this stuff. And it's like, no. And then after a couple of times, I tried to take out the phone to try and record it. And you're like,
zip,
nothing.
It's like, I don't really have anything to talk about. Nothing comes to mind.
That was funny.
Right. It truly was.
So we worked on it for 2 years.
It was
and then
work.
one day you said, okay.
Let's do it.
All right, you said.
You were right. It has helped.
Yes.
Right.
And tons of people talk about how much this helps,
Yeah, so imagine if I was to indulge my lone wolf.
It wouldn't happen. We wouldn't have these conversations.
We wouldn't have these conversations. How about if you indulged your lone wolf?
Yeah.
Who would see you?
Nobody.
Nobody. Right. So you see, it's not just about you, I guess is the point.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
This new paradigm is not about you.
It's not just about you.
I would say it's not about you, period.
Okay, it's not about you, period. Well, you are included, though, so it's kind of about you. Ah. It's not about you. Think they get it yet?
No, I don't think so. You'll have to
It's not about you.
No. What is it about?
It is about us.
Very good. There you go.
Do you understand now?
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
It's almost like the light bulb went off.
Ooh, I could tell when you went, ooh.
Ooh! I hope the light bulb's going off in your heads too.
Yes. It's not about you. It's about us.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I'm speechless from now.
Okay. Are you complete, honey?
I am complete. Just remember, strength.
Strength.
Strength is the card, and even in the card, it wasn't about a single person.
No,
it wasn't. Us.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. Talking to my wolf.
Yes.
Okay, buddy. He's this big. How about yours, honey?
Which one?
Your remember not what's the hellhound turned into? Lighthound.
Lighthounds.
Yeah. Do you have your lighthound still?
I do. I have. Let me see. Let me count them. I have 5, but 2 of them are very close to me, and the other 3 just roam the perimeters.
Excellent.
Now we have to have a whole conversation about lighthounds and hellhounds. Maybe next time.
I think next time. Things. Yeah, I'm still absorbing us.
Yes.
And what it means to say it's not about you. When you say it, and then it sinks in. If it sinks in and now you get it,
then you really get it.
Then you really get it.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, darling.
I love you.
I love you too.